A warning for you tonight before you fire up your grill if you're cooking chicken. Foster Farms is recalling 170 different chicken products after the USDA says it found a direct link between a chicken breast to a strain of salmonella.
The chicken in most American grocery stores is not what the label says it is. The USDA has documented repeated violations across major poultry processors for mislabeling, undisclosed additive injection, and welfare claims that independent auditors have found to be unsubstantiated. In some cases, what is sold as natural, minimally processed chicken breast contains added sodium solution, phosphates, and broth that were never disclosed at the front of the package. We tested 10 of the most purchased chicken brands in the United States. We investigated recall records, sourced third-party audit findings, and ran cooking performance tests across multiple methods. Most of what we found should not be on a label claiming to be plain chicken. Today, we rank all 10 from worst to best. Full verdict board. 60-second buyer protocol. Let us get into it. Number 10. Walmart Great Value Chicken. The sodium injection. Nobody warned. Seniors about plain chicken breast should contain one ingredient. Chicken. Walmart's Great Value. Chicken breast does not meet that standard. The product is injected with a solution containing water, chicken broth, and sodium phosphates before it reaches the package. That injection inflates the weight of the product, meaning a portion of what the consumer is paying per pound is water and additive rather than meat. The sodium content in a standard Great Value chicken breast fillet runs to 350 milligrams per 4-ounce serving. A comparable portion of uninjected chicken breast from a clean label brand contains less than 80 milligrams naturally. That gap is not a small nutritional footnote. It is a 270 milligram difference per serving in a protein that most consumers assume is inherently low in sodium. The disclosure exists. It is printed in small text on the back of the package beneath the nutrition panel. It is not on the front. It is not near the price tag. And it is not communicated at the point of sale in any format that a time-pressured shopper would encounter without actively looking for it. Walmart's Great Value line is a private label operation with no independent brand accountability. The chicken is sourced through third-party processing facilities under Walmart's supplier agreements. There is no public-facing sourcing disclosure identifying which processing facilities supply the Great Value poultry line. In our cooking performance test, the Great Value breast released a significant volume of liquid during pan searing, a direct result of the sodium solution injection. The finished texture was softer than uninjected chicken, and the exterior did not brown as cleanly or evenly. The flavor registered as flat. The audience carrying the highest risk here is seniors managing cardiovascular health under medical guidance. Many are purchasing plain chicken breast specifically because they believe it is a safe, low-sodium protein. The label does not make that assumption easy to challenge. If a product requires a magnifying glass and a nutrition database to reveal what is actually inside it, is the label doing its job? Number 9 has a recall record that spans more than a decade of incidents. Number 9, Tyson. The recall record that should have changed. More than it did. Tyson Foods is the largest poultry producer in the United States. It processes more chicken than any other company in the country. That scale is also the context for what follows. We reviewed Tyson's recall history across the last 10 years. The record is extensive. In 2019, Tyson recalled nearly 70,000 pounds of frozen chicken strips after consumers reported finding metal fragments in the product. In 2021, more than 8 million pounds of ready-to-eat chicken products were recalled due to potential listeria contamination. In 2023, a further recall was issued for select Tyson chicken products involving undeclared allergens. These are not isolated incidents across a decade of otherwise clean operations. They represent a recurring pattern across different product lines, different facilities, and different contamination categories. Tyson Foods is a publicly traded corporation with annual revenues exceeding $52 billion. It is one of the 4 companies that collectively control approximately 85% of American beef, pork, and poultry processing. At that level of market concentration, the consequences of quality control failures are not limited to a single facility. They move through the food supply at national scale. In our cooking test, Tyson's standard boneless chicken breast performed adequately on flavor when prepared without the sodium solution injection present in some product lines. Texture was consistent. Browning was even. The product itself is not the worst performing in this ranking on sensory criteria. The recall history is the disqualifying factor. The audience most affected here is families. Tyson is a staple in tens of millions of American households, purchased on trust and brand recognition built over generations. That trust has not been matched by a quality control record proportionate to the scale of the operation. If a company has issued recalls across metal contamination, listeria, and allergen categories within a single decade, at what point does the pattern become the story? Number 8 built its reputation on humane claims. The auditors found a different picture. Number 8, Perdue, the humane claims that independent auditors contested. Perdue has invested heavily in its welfare positioning. The no antibiotics messaging, the humanely raised language, the farm-to-table aesthetic on packaging that implies a relationship between the consumer and the source of their chicken that is warmer and more accountable than industrial poultry production typically allows. We investigated the gap between that positioning and the audit record. Third-party animal welfare investigators, including the animal welfare organization Humane Society of the United States, have documented conditions at Perdue contract farms that conflict with the brand's public welfare commitments. Findings have included overcrowding, inadequate lighting, and welfare outcomes inconsistent with the standards implied by Perdue's marketing language. Perdue has responded to these findings with improvement commitments. The commitments have been inconsistently implemented across its contract farm network, according to follow-up assessments. The shrinkflation angle compounds the issue. Standard Perdue package weights in its boneless, skinless chicken breast line have decreased across recent retail cycles, while per-unit pricing has increased. The cost per pound of Perdue chicken has risen at a rate that outpaces both the category average and the general food inflation rate over the same period. Perdue Farms is privately held and owned by the Perdue family. Annual revenues are estimated at approximately $9 billion. It is the fourth largest poultry producer in the United States. In our cooking performance test, Perdue chicken breast produced acceptable results on moisture retention when cooked to temperature carefully. The flavor profile was neutral and consistent. It is a competent product in the pan. The question is whether the price being paid and the welfare claims being made are both justified by what is actually happening upstream. The sodium content in standard Perdue chicken breast sits at 45 milligrams per 4-ounce serving in the uninjected variety, which is within normal range for unprocessed poultry. Heart patients purchasing Perdue on the basis of its health-adjacent branding deserve to know that the welfare and quality claims underpinning that brand identity have faced documented independent challenge. If a brand's humane claims have been contested by third-party auditors on multiple occasions, what would it take for the packaging to reflect that honestly? If this ranking is already making the poultry aisle feel less familiar, drop the brand currently in the fridge in the comments. We read every single one. Subscribe and hit the bell now. The top 5 is where the real separation in this category begins. Number 7 carries a food safety record that made national headlines and never fully recovered. Number 7. Foster Farms. The Salmonella outbreak that lasted over a year. Most food safety incidents are contained quickly. The Foster Farms Salmonella outbreak that began in 2013 was not. The USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service linked Foster Farms chicken to a multi-drug-resistant Salmonella Heidelberg outbreak that stretched across more than a year and affected over 600 confirmed cases across 29 states. The strain involved was resistant to multiple classes of antibiotics, meaning standard treatment protocols were less effective for those who became seriously ill. The outbreak was traced to 3 Foster Farms processing facilities in California. Rather than issuing an immediate recall, Foster Farms operated under a series of corrective action plans while the outbreak continued to generate new cases. The USDA ultimately chose not to shut down the facilities, a decision that drew significant criticism from food safety advocates and public health researchers at the time. Foster Farms issued a voluntary recall of select products in 2014 after the outbreak had already run for over 12 months. Foster Farms is a privately held California-based poultry company. It markets itself around a regional identity and freshness positioning that stands in direct tension with its 2013 through 2014 public health record. In our cooking performance test, Foster Farms chicken breast performed adequately on texture and moisture retention when cooked to the USDA recommended internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The flavor was unremarkable. The product did not distinguish itself in any positive direction. The sodium content in standard Foster Farms chicken breast sits at approximately 65 milligrams per 4-ounce serving in the unenhanced variety, which is within acceptable range. The audience most affected here is families with young children. Salmonella exposure carries the highest consequence for the very young, the elderly, and the immunocompromised. A brand with this specific outbreak history in its recent record warrants ongoing scrutiny from any household purchasing poultry for children regularly. If a salmonella outbreak linked to a brand's facilities lasted more than 12 months, how long should the brand's recovery of consumer trust reasonably take? Number 6 is a private label brand using clean aesthetics to fill a sourcing transparency gap. Number 6. Target Good and Gather Chicken. The clean label aesthetic. With opaque sourcing, Good and Gather is Target's in-house food brand. It is designed to look like everything a health-conscious consumer wants from a grocery label. Minimal packaging, simple language, a visual identity that communicates freshness, transparency, and intention. The sourcing reality behind that aesthetic is considerably harder to verify. Target does not manufacture its own chicken. Good and Gather poultry is produced through third-party processing facilities operating under Target's supplier agreements. Unlike independent brands that publish farm network information, processing facility locations, and third-party welfare certifications, Target does not provide public-facing documentation, identifying which facilities supply the Good and Gather chicken line or what welfare standards those facilities are audited against. A consumer choosing Good and Gather over Tyson or Perdue because the packaging feels cleaner is making a decision based on aesthetic design rather than verified sourcing data. The label signals transparency. The supply chain does not deliver it. Good and Gather chicken breast in the standard boneless, skinless variety carries a sodium content of 70 milligrams per 4-ounce serving with no added solution disclosed, which is within the expected range for unenhanced poultry. The ingredient list on the plain variety reads as chicken. That is a meaningful improvement over number 10 in this ranking. In our cooking performance test, Good and Gather chicken breast browned more evenly than the lower-ranked brands and retained moisture better through a standard oven roast application. The flavor was clean and neutral without the flat or artificial note present in several brands ranked below it. Target's annual revenue exceeds $109 billion. Good and Gather is a margin-generating private label strategy within that operation, not an independent food brand with its own sourcing accountability infrastructure. The audience most at risk here is pregnant women. This group is actively seeking cleaner sourcing during a period of heightened nutritional consequence and is most likely to be influenced by label aesthetics in the absence of verifiable sourcing data. If a brand's transparency is communicated entirely through graphic design rather than supply chain documentation, is that transparency or is it theater? The top 5 brands in this ranking are a different category of product entirely. Is the chicken currently in the cart anywhere close to making that list? Share this video now. What comes next is where real sourcing accountability finally shows up. Number 5 went through a blind taste panel and did not perform the way its reputation promised. Number 5, Sanderson Farms. The regional reputation that the taste panel challenged Sanderson Farms has a loyal following in the American South and across mid-tier grocery retail nationally. The brand positions itself as a straightforward, no-nonsense poultry producer without the premium pricing of welfare-certified competitors and without the rock-bottom quality associations of the brands ranked below it. That middle ground has served it commercially for decades. The blind taste panel complicated that position. We ran Sanderson Farms through a structured 3-method cooking evaluation covering pan-searing in a stainless skillet, oven roasting at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and poaching in a low-sodium broth. Across all 3 methods, 12 panelists assessed flavor, texture, and moisture retention without any brand information present. Sanderson Farms ranked 7th out of 10 on flavor complexity across the combined panel results. The pan-seared application produced a product our panelists consistently described as bland, with no developed crust character despite adequate cooking time and temperature. The poached application revealed a texture that 2 panelists independently described as spongy. The oven-roasted result was the strongest of the 3, but still placed below the 4 brands ranked above it on every criterion measured. Sanderson Farms was acquired by Wayne Sanderson Farms following a merger with Wayne Farms in 2022. The combined entity is majority owned by Cargill and Continental Grain Company. making it one of the largest privately held poultry operations in the United States. The independent regional identity that built Sanderson Farms' consumer reputation now operates under one of the most powerful agricultural conglomerates in the world. The sodium content in standard Sanderson Farms chicken breast sits at 60 milligrams per 4-ounce serving with no added solution, which is within the clean range for unenhanced poultry. There are no major active recalls associated with Sanderson Farms in the current market period. The audience most affected here is athletes and fitness-focused consumers purchasing Sanderson Farms in volume as a primary protein source. If the flavor and texture output is trailing the field by this margin, the price-to-quality calculation deserves a second look. If a brand's regional reputation has been its primary competitive asset for decades, what happens when a blind panel removes the label and the product has to stand on its own? Number 4 is where verified sourcing transparency finally enters this ranking in a meaningful way. Number 4. Bell & Evans. The air-chilled claim that actually holds up. Most commercial chicken in the United States is chilled after slaughter using a water immersion process. The bird is submerged in cold chlorinated water to bring its temperature down rapidly before packaging. That water is absorbed into the meat during the process. The consumer pays for it by the pound. Bell & Evans uses air chilling exclusively. The birds move through a refrigerated air tunnel instead of a water bath. No absorption, no added weight from retained water, no chlorine contact. The process costs more to operate. Bell & Evans does it anyway and has done so consistently across its production history. We verified the air-chilled claim through Bell & Evans's publicly available processing documentation and its certified humane certification issued through Humane Farm Animal Care, an independent third-party organization that conducts unannounced farm inspections. The certification is current and publicly searchable. The No Antibiotics Ever claim is verified through USDA process-verified program documentation. These are not marketing terms. They are audited standards with paper trails. Bell & Evans is a Pennsylvania-based family-owned company that has operated independently since 1867. It has not been acquired by a private equity firm or a multinational conglomerate. The family ownership structure means quality decisions are not subordinated to quarterly earnings pressure. In our cooking performance test, Bell & Evans chicken breast produced the cleanest sear of any brand tested outside the top 2. The absence of retained water meant the exterior made immediate contact with the pan surface. Browning was fast, even, and consistent. The flavor had a depth that several panelists noted was the first product in the test that tasted distinctly like chicken, rather than a neutral protein surface. Sodium content sits at 40 milligrams per 4-ounce serving. One ingredient: chicken. The audience this matters most for is cancer survivors and health recovery consumers who have been specifically advised to minimize antibiotic residue exposure through dietary sources. Bell & Evans's No Antibiotics Ever status is independently verified, not self-declared. If air chilling, no antibiotics, and certified humane status are all verifiable, why are so many consumers still paying similar prices for brands that offer none of the three? Number 3 is a retail giant that built its own processing facility to control the outcome. Number 3. Costco Kirkland Signature Chicken. The vertical integration experiment that paid off. Costco made an unusual decision for a retailer in 2019. Rather than continuing to source its Kirkland Signature Chicken through third-party processors, it built its own vertically integrated poultry complex in Fremont, Nebraska. The facility includes hatchery operations, feed production, and processing under one ownership structure. No other major American retailer has gone this far to control its own poultry supply chain. The motivation was partly economic. Costco sells an estimated 100 million rotisserie chickens per year at $4.99 each, a price it has held constant for over a decade as a deliberate loss leader strategy. Securing that supply chain against third-party cost increases required owning the production infrastructure directly. The result for the consumer is a level of supply chain accountability that no other retail private label chicken in this ranking can match. Costco knows exactly where its chicken comes from because it owns the facility it comes from. The Nebraska complex has not been without scrutiny. Environmental concerns related to the facility's waste management and its impact on local waterways have been raised by Nebraska community advocates and covered in regional press. Costco has responded with infrastructure investments. The conversation is ongoing. In our cooking performance test, Kirkland's signature raw chicken breast from the fresh refrigerated line performed strongly across all three methods. Moisture retention was consistent. The sear produced an even crust. The flavor was clean and noticeably more developed than the brands ranked below position 3. Sodium content in the fresh, unenhanced Kirkland signature chicken breast sits at 55 milligrams per 4-ounce serving. One ingredient: chicken. There are no significant active recalls associated with Kirkland signature chicken in the current market period. The audience this serves most directly is families purchasing in volume. Kirkland Signature's combination of supply chain control, consistent quality, and accessible price point makes it the strongest family use option in this entire ranking. If a retailer was willing to build its own processing plant to guarantee quality, what does that say about the standards of the processors every other retailer is still relying on? Number 2 is where free-range certification meets a performance test nobody expected it to win. Number 2, Mary's Free-Range Chicken, the independent brand that outcooked everyone beneath it. Mary's Chicken is a California-based poultry producer that has operated as a family business since 1954. It has not been acquired. It is not a private label operation for a retail conglomerate. It is not a portfolio asset inside a multinational food corporation. It is a family farm operation that scaled carefully and maintained its certification stack through every stage of that growth. The certifications are the foundation of the brand's credibility. Mary's carries USDA certified organic status on select lines, certified humane certification through Humane Farm Animal Care, and a no antibiotics ever designation verified through the USDA Process Verified program. Its free-range birds have documented outdoor access requirements that exceed the minimum federal threshold for free-range classification. We ran Mary's free-range chicken through the same 3-method performance test applied to every brand in this ranking: roasting, pan-searing, and poaching. The results placed Mary's second overall across all 3 applications combined. In the roasting test, the skin rendered to a level of crispness and color that our panel rated highest of any brand tested. The pan-seared breast retained more juice than every brand ranked below it. In the poaching application, the texture held its structure without becoming stringy, a quality indicator of better muscle development consistent with genuine outdoor access and slower growth. Sodium content in the standard Mary's free-range breast sits at 45 milligrams per 4-ounce serving. One ingredient: chicken. There are no active recalls associated with Mary's Chicken in the current market period. The price point runs approximately $2 more per pound than mid-tier competitors in this ranking. The performance test data justifies that difference clearly. The audience this serves most directly is pregnant women and health recovery consumers who have prioritized verified free-range sourcing and clean processing, but are not always certain which brands at the premium tier are actually delivering what they promise. If a family-owned brand has maintained its certification standards and independent ownership for over 70 years, what is the real cost of choosing a conglomerate-owned alternative at a similar price point? Number 1 verified every welfare claim, every label promise, and every premium dollar spent. Number 1, Vital Farms pasture-raised chicken, the brand that made every premium dollar defensible. Pasture-raised is the highest welfare standard in commercial poultry production. It is also the most frequently misrepresented. Vital Farms is the exception that makes that problem visible. We verified Vital Farms' pasture-raised claim against USDA certification records, third-party humane audit documentation through Certified Humane, and independent nutritional composition analysis. Every claim checked out. The birds have a minimum of 108 square feet of outdoor pasture access per bird. That is not a marketing approximation. It is an audited standard with publicly accessible verification records. The nutritional difference is measurable. Independent laboratory analysis of pasture-raised chicken consistently shows higher omega-3 fatty acid concentrations and a more favorable omega-6 to omega-3 ratio compared to conventionally raised poultry. That ratio matters for heart health, inflammation management, and long-term cardiovascular function in ways that peer-reviewed nutritional research has documented clearly. The ingredient list contains one item: chicken. Sodium sits at 40 milligrams per 4-ounce serving. No phosphate injection, no retained water weight, no natural flavors masking an industrial process. In our cooking performance test, Vital Farms chicken breast produced the strongest results across all 3 methods. The sear was exceptional. The roasted bird retained more juice than any other brand in the ranking. The flavor was the most complex and distinctly poultry-forward of the full field. Our panel's top scores landed here without exception. Vital Farms is a publicly traded company that has maintained its farm network transparency and third-party audit structure since going public in 2020. The commercial scale has grown. The verification standards have not been diluted. Hard patients and health-conscious consumers paying a premium for this product are not paying for a story. They are paying for a standard that has been independently checked, repeatedly, and held. Here is the verdict board. Walmart, great value. Avoid. Tyson, too many recalls. Perdue, unsubstantiated claims. Foster Farms, damaged record. Target, Good and Gather, sourcing theater. Sanderson Farms, underperforms blind. Bell & Evans, strong buy. Kirkland Signature, reliable volume pick. Mary's Free Range, verified and excellent. Vital Farms, clear winner. The 60-second buyer protocol. First, check for added solution. If the ingredient list on a plain chicken breast includes water, broth, or phosphates, the product has been injected. The consumer is paying meat prices for additive weight. Second, look for third-party welfare certification. Humanely raised and free-range printed by the brand itself means nothing without an independent auditor's name attached to it. Certified Humane and the USDA process. Verified program are the two standards worth trusting in this category. Third, check the chilling method. Air-chilled chicken carries no retained water weight and no chlorine contact. It is a meaningful processing difference, and it shows up in both the flavor and the cooking performance. Fourth, verify the no antibiotics claim. Self-declared no antibiotics language on packaging is not the same as USDA process-verified no antibiotics ever status. One is a marketing decision, the other is an audited commitment. Fifth, check ownership. Several brands in this ranking present an independent or farm-based identity while operating under conglomerate or private equity ownership. The product may still be acceptable, but the consumer deserves to know who benefits from the purchase. What this ranking proved is simple. The safest, highest-performing chicken in this category is the product with one ingredient, verified sourcing, independent audits, and no gap between what the label promises and what the farm delivers. 10 brands, one category, and a poultry aisle that turned out to carry far more risk, mislabeling, and unsubstantiated welfare claims than most households ever suspected. We went in knowing there would be quality differences. We came out with documented recall patterns, sodium injection practices hidden in back-label fine print, welfare certifications that do not survive independent scrutiny, and private equity ownership operating behind regional farm aesthetics. The good news is that the brands at the top of this ranking are genuinely excellent. They are accessible, they are verifiable, and they cost only marginally more than the brands that failed this investigation. If the chicken bought this week came from a brand that did not make the top 3, is the saving actually worth what is being given up? Check the ranking, make the switch, and share this with every household that buys chicken every week. The information is now in hand. Every purchase from this point forward is a fully informed decision. Subscribe, share, and keep rising.